Right, primary mission for this video, get a countertop on the kitchen carcass. But there is also going to be a lot more that we need to do. We've got to get an end divider cut for there. We've got to get an end stuck on the end of the kitchen in green. We've got a couple of adjustments to making the carcass itself, which I'll explain in a minute. Fasten it to the wall. All sorts going on. Where do we start? Roll BT. Right, first thing we've got to do is make a couple of adjustments to this carcass. We've put the separators in, but there's going to be a sink here, and because we've got these separators in that way at the back, we've not given ourselves an awful lot of space. So what I'm going to do is turn this one around so it's at the back of the carcass. I'm going to do the same on this side because we're going to have a pop-up electrical plug socket thing, and because that is in the way, we've lost a couple of inches, so I'm going to put that on the back as well, and then it gives us a bit more space. The middle one doesn't matter because that's just solid top, it's just the two ends. So that's first job, and then I'll figure the rest out from there. Right, now that is adjusted, I'm going to get the two ends cut out of the green. This end is going to be the dividing wall for the van between the living space and the bed and the garage. That side is just going to be the decorative side that will trim to the shape of the wall. We're not going to fix that partition in just yet, we're just going to get it lined up so we know exactly where to put this. I don't want it fixed just because I want access in and out because we're a bit short on space. So I want that access for as long as possible. So yeah, two green bits. That's it. Is that straight? Did we test that?
I just say I've never hated angles more than I do with this van.
Fucking pain in the
Right, and action!
Jesus. We've cut the green board.
Action!
For the... Shut up. For the, you know, the comment on the last video was...
Can you just...
Action! Somebody commented, action!
Okay,
right,
go.
We've cut that down. Do not say it again. Stop it. This needs to be trimmed so that the bed will come down here. So we'll cut that out there. Put a fat rubber seal on it so that it's not going to get damaged. Not going to fix this in place just yet. I was using this to line up the kitchen. There's a couple of little tweaks and movement in the kitchen to make. And we're going to fix that to the wall and then cut the green board on the other end and scribe that as well. That's it for now. So it's a bit frustrating because we don't actually know what we're doing perfectly. We're trying to manoeuvre the carcass into position so that it's perpendicular to everything, or to the floor I should say. So we've got it, we've got this first board perpendicular to the floor. Is it perpendicular or parallel? Yeah, perpendicular. And then we've butted this up against it, and that end is okay, but that end over there isn't perpendicular, it's like a mill out. So it's like, how much tolerance do we have? And it makes you think, are we screwing it up when it comes to putting the doors on? I don't know. This is part of the fun, I suppose. I'm just putting these L brackets on the back here to put it into place, and then we're going to cut the other end. For extra support, we've also got pocket holes in the bottom of the carcass that will screw into the floor, so there's definitely no movement either left, right, back, forth, whatever. You can't see from that angle, but the back of the carcass is no longer touching the wall. There's a small gap. We've done that because when we put the separating wall in, it wasn't angled correctly. So in order to close the gap, we've moved the kitchen away from the wall a few mil, and it closed the gap up that end. And that's again the same problem. It's just finding things that are square or perpendicular to what they should be. It's a bit of a pain in the arse, but you're not going to see it anyway because the top will be on, which will be cut to the wall, and this side will have a green piece on again, which will be trimmed to the wall shape. So you're not going to see it. It's just a bit annoying when you think you've done something right, and then it turns out that you've got to do it differently. Right, we've cut this piece.
Action!
We've cut this piece into the. We've scribed it down that wall. I swear to God. So that come and fill, showing this gap that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So that hides everything, nice and neat. It's flush there, and it's flush down the side, and give it a little sand down. What we've also built is a box, hello box, but inside. So this is going to be here. It's going to be a single seat with storage, but what we've done is, we haven't fixed it in yet, what we've done is put it on a hinge so it opens up, and we've used the leftovers of the shower tiles which we've put in, and a piece of white stuff which will go down the bottom like so. We'll adhesive everything in once we've fixed it to the floor. That'll act as a waterproof area, so we can just chuck our muddy boots in there and not have to worry about it, and it's just easy then to mop up afterwards. But I think it looks quite nice. So we'll put the same cushions on here as we do on there whenever we get around to that, and yeah, very happy with that. So next up, we're just going to adhesive this onto there because I don't want any screw holes, and then we can measure up for the what do you call it, for the worktop. Right, we can crack on now with measuring up for the worktop. For the worktop, we're going to use exactly the same birchwood ply that we've got here, this 15mm stuff, but we're going to glue two together to give us a 30mm worktop. So I'm going to measure the size of this. I'm going to make it purposely too big by a couple of centimetres each way, and then once it's dry, we can trim everything down to exactly where we need it, because I want to make sure it's flat against that back wall, and then flush with this, and probably leave a little overhang on the front. So I'll make it too big on purpose, and then we can trim it down to what we need.
So we have measured up and cut out the countertops. We put two pieces of this lovely, is it birchwood?
Yeah.
Birchwood on top of each other, and we're going to have a little overhang so it looks more like a kitchen worktop rather than it being flush with the cupboards.
That's not glued yet, obviously.
Pardon?
That's not glued yet.
Yeah, not glued, and also
now.
we're going to make sure that we sand it down and varnish it and make it look a bit nicer, a bit more finished. We've done the same method with another two bits of wood, which are going to make up our dining room table. So Andy and I will be sitting in this area here, and the dining table will sit somewhere like so. This is going to be a collapsible table so that we can put it away into the seating area that we made a while ago, which means that it's out of the way, and it means that this area is not as claustrophobic as it would be if it was there all the time. So yeah, done well.
Right, we're going to glue these together.
Action!
Just using some wood glue. We've decided which ones we want as the top because these have got a nicer looking what do you call it? Pattern? Grain. Nice looking grain. So that is going to be the top of this one, and I think that's upside down. Babe.
It is.
So put that over to you. And then we're just going to put a load of wood glue on. I ain't got a wood glue spreader or something, so I've just chopped up little notches into an old credit card that we can just spread it on with.
We're doing the same on both and then sandwiching them together? Or just
no,
one?
I think we just do it on one.
So why have you asked me to do one of mine?
Because you've got them ones.
Oh, I'm going to do those ones.
We might as well.
At the same time?
Yeah, why not?
In my room.
There's a whole table.
Right, take your broom and have it before it goes cold, because you always end up losing it.
Right, that's them glued. What we're going to do is, because it's freezing out here and this isn't perfectly flat, we'll take it in the house so we've got a flat floor and put some heavy weights on them and leave them for a couple of days until they're fully dry. Right. We've glued these together. If you're thinking why is the camera looking so shit, it's because we're not on the driveway today because we've got a mini digger up there doing a bit of work on the garden, so we're restricted to the road, so I've got no electric, no lighting, so you can't see much. We've glued these together. I've purposely made this too big so that we can cut off the ends. If I let that overhang a little bit on that side, we can cut off the ends to exactly where it needs to be. I'll push this back. There's the slightest of gaps. I don't know if it's worth scribing it to the wall or not, because a bit of sealant and you won't see it. So I'm thinking I might just leave the back rather than scribe it, because once the sealant goes down the back, it won't be visible. So I'm going to draw underneath exactly where these ends are to the sides, trim them off, and then measure. I think we're going to leave like a 15mm overhang on the front, so I'll measure that as well and then trim that down, and then it's just a case of sanding everything. I think we're going to round the corners off, sand everything down to like a 220 or something, and then we're going to finish it with some lacquer, which I'll talk about in a minute. And we'll do exactly the same thing to the tabletop. Right, that all lines up really nicely. It'll be even better when we give it a sand down. The front, we're just going to do a 15mm overhang. I'm just going to use a piece of the 15mm that we built this out of, put it along, draw a line, and then cut down it. Nice and simple, he says. Happy days. So now that's in place, I'm just going to round off the corners. I've got these little Temu special things that come in a little package of multiple corners. Don't know how accurate they are. They've got ratings, or I'm assuming it's radius, R10, R5, R35, whatever. I'm just trying to line up which one's best. I think R10, because we've only got this 15mm hangover, or overhang, I think R10 just takes off the corner. I think if we go up to a 15, it's pushing it a bit. I don't know where the 15 is. There. The 15 just looks like it might come a bit close to this line, and I don't want it to look odd, so I don't know. I'll do the 10, see how it looks. I'm literally just taking the sharpness off the corner, and that's it. I was going to use a router, but I don't trust myself, so I think I'm just going to hold that in place, get the sander, and go round. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad one, but time will tell. And I'll do the same on the table as well that we've got. Right, corners are rounded off. I wasn't thinking, I didn't need to do that corner because there's going to be a wall there, but whatever. So line this up, make sure everything looks good. Everything is sanded down to a, I think it was a 240 grit, because the tin of coating that we're going to put on this, the lacquer, says to sand everything down to a 240 grit, put the first coat on, then give it a light sanding again and repeat 2 or 3 more times. So that's what I've done. Everything feels good. Corner is nicely rounded. I've done a R5 on these corners and an R15 or 20 on the table corners, just to make it a little bit more rounded. I just couldn't get away with that on these because of the depth of the overhang. But overall, very happy. So I'm going to fix this in place now, using the same Fix-All super strong adhesive stuff that we've used elsewhere. Press that into place, and then also I'm going to add a couple of these, they're called modesty blocks, they're usually used in cabinetry working, which I'll just put underneath in the middle as a little bit of extra. Right, I have got some brackets, little hinge lockable brackets. So what's going to happen is I've got 2 of these, they're going to go on the end here, and I've got another chunk, just single thickness of 15mm rather than 30. And what I'm going to do is put them on the brackets, have that overlapping there, and then the brackets will open up and lock, and you'll get that little bit of extendable table that we can use for whatever, and it'll just fold back down, so then we can still use this when it's up against here as a seat and it won't get in the way. So what I'm going to do is, I've done that now. That's done, top's done, the table done, everything's sanded down. So I'm going to start lacquering it. Right, this is what we are using. This upset me. This was 50 quid a litre. It is Mann's bar top lacquer. Focus. 50 quid a litre. I've got it in matte. There was satin and satin and gloss options, but because all the green is matte, I figured this might be the best way to go. I'm not too sure. It says get everything sanded down to 220. Slap this on generously, and then give it a light sanding and repeat 2 to 5 times. At 50 quid a litre, might be just 2. So we've got the kitchen counter to do, we've got the table to do, and we've got the little flip out bit to do. I'm going to do these 2 bits out here first, because essentially I only actually need to do one side of these, and the one side of that. So we'll see how far it goes. I'm told this is the best stuff to use. It's super durable. You can use it on floors and bar tops, so it's like scratch resistant, and obviously we're going to be using it a lot, so I'm hoping this is the best option. Otherwise I've wasted 50 quid for this tiny little tin. Well, one coat, it's got a nice golden colour, soaked it up well. The edges look good as well, and I know you can't see from there. So I've not used too much, it's actually spread quite well. We should have plenty, I think. Right, that is those 2 pieces done. I don't know if you can see on the camera, it's soaked up really well and giving it this really nice golden colour, which I hope lasts because I really like the look of it. I need to give this between 4 and 6 hours for recoats. So let's get in the van, we'll do that top, and then we can leave it to dry for a bit. Right, we're in between coats, and it says on the tin to denib the surface. I had to Google what denib means, and apparently it's just a very light sanding, and it said between 300 and 600 grit. So I did. The next one's going to be the 3rd coat. So in between the 1st and 2nd, I denibbed with 320 grit. And it seems to have gone okay, but I think there is like a ever so slight still like scratch to it. I don't know, might be just my eyes. So anyway, I've moved up and I'm going to finish the rest of them with a 600 and see how that looks. Right, everything has had 5 coats. It's been a few days. 5 coats on the counter, 5 coats on the little flappy bit, and 5 coats on the table that we've made. I'm just finishing it off now with a bit of furniture polish and some 1000 grit, just to give it the very lightest of sands down, whatever. Just to give it a little polish. That'll be it, done. The table, we haven't decided what legs we're going to put on, so we're just going to put that in the storage unit for now. And the flappy bit I'm going to attach in a second, and then we're done. So finish this, do the flappy bit, and we'll cap off the video. Right, I've attached the brackets onto the bit of flip out that we're going to have. I've just done that by putting a bit of scrap on the back, clamping it so it's in place, and then lining these up with the back of the shelf. I'm just going to hold this in place now, where it's going to go, flush, drill the pilot holes, and then we can fix it all in. Happy? Sure? Yeah. Still in place?
Yeah.
Done.
Happy?
Oh, that's a bit tight.
Lovely.
Oh, that's alright.
That looks fantastic.
I'm going to push up a bit to... I think we might have made it a bit too tight.
Table time.
Yeah, we just need to find some legs. That's great.
Looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We have now finished the dining room table, matching the kitchen work surfaces. We think it's a nice size, it's big enough. We're going to find some legs that we like, because we haven't found ones that we like. But now that we know that it fits into where I'm sitting, we feel much happier. So, done a great job. Join us for our next video, where we're going to be recarpeting the doors on the inside, the sliding door and the 2 rear doors. And if you've got any comments, pop them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon.